going to be people that work in the energy industry. Hi, I'm Alonso Martinez. In recent months, there has been a big national debate on whether the ban on exporting American oil should be lifted or not. Proponents on both sides of the topic have presented really good arguments about the validity of the ban in present-day America. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to go ahead and present to you some points about why the ban is obsolete and it should be lifted. The ban was established in 1975 because of turmoil in the Middle East. Since the creation of the State of Israel in 1948, the United States has provided military and political backup to the State of Israel. In 1973, Syria and Egypt attacked Israel in what later on became to be known as the Yom Kippur War. Needless to say, the United States took the Israeli side of the conflict. This actually outraged several Arab countries, and although they could not take any type of military action against it, they could retaliate economically. A few days into the conflict, they established an oil embargo affecting Japan, Canada, the Netherlands, the United Kingdom, and the United States. This, coupled with a steep decline in U.S. oil production, created an atmosphere of uncertainty and national security threat within the U.S. government. We have to remember that in the 1970s, the U.S. was still fighting the Cold War against the Soviet Union. So the ban was established because of national security reasons. So now let's fast forward 40 years later. The Cold War is over. The Soviet Union does not exist. And the U.S. is actually going through an explosion in U.S. oil production that is based on the use of new technologies such as hydraulic fracturing and the directional drilling. So now, what exactly is the ban? What the ban says is that no U.S. oil producer can sell American crude outside of the country. It has no stipulations regarding the selling of refined products coming out of this American oil. So what this says is you can basically not sell oil to any country outside of the United States, but you can actually sell diesel, gasoline, or jet fuel or any other refined products that come out of it. So what this has created is a surplus of American oil within the country. It either has to be sold cheaply in American refineries, or production has to be lowered because it cannot go anywhere else. Now, if we actually take the ban, if we lift the ban, we could actually boost some of the regions where oil is being produced. We could create jobs. We could sell the American oil at competitive prices in the international market. And we could actually create an infrastructure around these communities that base their economy on oil. Now, another major advantage that we can create is that the United States could actually sell this oil to some of our ally nations in Europe, and that would cut their dependency on buying oil from more complicated regions such as the Middle East or the Russian Federation. Now, even with all these points, there have been some counter-arguments brought up about lifting the ban. The biggest one right now has been, well, if the United States produces so much oil, why is it that we're still importing foreign oil? Well, U.S. refineries, outside of being the biggest consumer of oil in the world, according to the the Energy Information Administration, the U.S. consumes 19 million barrels of oil per day. The U.S. is also has the largest refining capacity in the planet. In order to be able to maintain that refining capacity, refineries have to work 24/7, 365 days a year. The only way you can achieve this is by maintaining a constant supply of oil. So now, whether this oil comes from the United States or comes from outside the country, the refineries have to keep on operating. Nobody's going to go ahead and have a refinery working one day and not the other one because there was no supply of oil. The other point is that the U.S. still has that capacity to refine oil. We cannot sell anything, we cannot sell American oil, but that does not mean that you cannot actually buy a foreign oil, bring it into the United States, refine it, and sell it back to that country who probably does not have the capability to refine this product, sell it back to them as gasoline and diesel. The U.S. last year imported 7.8 million barrels of oil, but we actually exported 3.7 million barrels of refined product products back to the countries where we got them from. So whether the ban stays in place or it gets lifted, we are still going to be buying foreign oil in order to maintain the refineries working and in order to provide those products that other countries might not be able to refine out of their own crude oil. So as a conclusion, lifting the ban on exporting American oil will actually boost the economy. It's going to help maintain better relations with some of our allied countries. It will actually have a dramatic impact in actually selling our American oil in a more in a more competitive price in the international market. So lifting the oil will definitely boost the American economy and its national security, since several of its allied countries will actually, we can create a type of spheres of influence, not based on our military, but